My name's Andrew Humphries. I'm one of the co-founders of The Bakery. We're a corporate-led accelerator program based in London, but operating all over the world. I love being in Poland, and Warsaw particularly is, a real hotbed of entrepreneurial talent. So every time I come to the Central and Eastern European region, and particularly to Poland, I'm always excited to meet some of the best startups and find out what people are cooking here, and see if we can help them grow and expand and achieve their dreams. So at the Bakery, what we do is we work very closely with large corporate organizations, companies like BMW, Unilever, Google, banks, pharmaceutical companies, FMCG companies, vehicle manufacturers all over the world. And we ask them what their big challenges are. What are the things that they really want to fix inside their companies? What are the things that they're really working on right now that they would like to find cool new technical solutions to? And on top of that, we ask them how much money they'd like to spend on those solutions, and make sure that they really want to trial a new solution with an early stage business. And then we look for startups, wherever they are, all over the world, that could potentially solve that problem. And we matchmake those two businesses together, and then we help them trial a new piece of technology in market. And we try and make them do it in a very short space of time. So we're very different to most of the kind of matchmaking or kind of innovation accelerator programs around, in that we're really solving very specific challenges for companies that want to pay money to get those challenges fixed. And they're very interested in trialing a new solution from a startup. So it cuts out all of the issues around how a startup can deal with a big company, and it gets them to market very, very quickly. The reality is that startups and corporates both need each other. And it's amazing when you start to talk to corporates about why it's important for them to work with startups. The reality is that corporates are great. They're big, they've got money, they've got customers, but they're also very slow, and they find it very difficult to innovate and make new things. Of course, they've got the capability to build anything, but they don't. And they really realize that they need to work with the entrepreneurial ecosystem to find new things that will work. And of course, on the other hand, startups really, in fact, almost any kind of startup, really can benefit from the reach and the revenue that they can get from working with a corporate. And I've met a number of people here at the Wolves Summit where I've opened their eyes to the potential that they might have working with a corporate, even though they didn't realize it. There are many startups in our portfolio that I'm really, really proud of. The reality is we've now taken over 70 new pieces of technology to trial with very large corporates. One that stands out is a Russian company that delivers a piece of artificial intelligence that is now being used in South Africa by a Unilever brand. It's a company called Digital Genius. And we introduced them 3 years ago to Unilever, and they've grown their revenues, and as a result, they've received massive amounts of investment, and they're now expanding all over the world. But there are more than 70 examples of that kind of symbiosis, where a startup meets a large corporate, doesn't realize that they can use their technology. We help them come together and build something amazing, and it gets quickly put in the hands of users. So it's a really exciting process to be involved in, and I'm very proud of all of them. Today, during my keynote speech, I'm going to be talking about how startups should think about engaging with corporate giants. It's a very difficult process, and there are many different ways these days that you can meet corporates. That most corporates have their own accelerator or incubator, or you can get involved in hackathons or competitions. But there's a lot of what's called innovation theater going on, where startups go along in the hope that they can sell their technology or maybe find an investor or whatever it happens to be, but end up really wasting their time and not focusing very hard on their particular goals. And similarly for corporates, it's tough to find the right startup that can fix your particular problem and make sure that they're the right ones for you. So I think for both large organizations and small organizations, understanding how to work with one another is a big element going forward. So today I'm going to be talking about how startups particularly should think about engaging with those large corporate giants. I think it's really important for startups to get involved in all of the potential networking environments that there are. And I think particularly the Wolf Summit, from what I've seen and the feedback that I've heard, is the kind of networking, the speed dating that occurs, and the kind of learnings that you can have at an event like the Wolf Summit is really, really powerful and can be transformational for a startup. That sometimes that one piece of information that you get when you talk to somebody at a summit like this, or the one piece of information that you pick up from a presentation, can be absolutely transformational to the business that you're trying to grow. So as much as possible, startups should get involved with these kinds of networking events. It's also, however, important to make sure that you focus on very, very key things like getting your technology ready, getting revenue, and getting the feedback from your customers. But it's great also when you're working hard in a startup on your own, in your own team, to mix and meet with other people who are in the ecosystem. So it's a very, very important thing. Probably my most important piece of advice for any startup is learn how to sell and figure out how to make sure that you can sell not just your product and your company, but the problem that your solution solves. Really get to grips with the understanding of the real issue that you're trying to deal with, and see that issue from the point of view of the person that might have that problem, and make sure you understand the way in which you can talk about your solution to that person or that company's problem in a way that resonates. Too many startup entrepreneurs spend too much time talking about their technology and what it means to them, and don't really get in the heads of the potential client or customer that they have. So learn how to sell, and learn how to sell from the point of view of the customer that's going to be your eventual route to market.